Hello and welcome to our newborn photography safety series brought to you by Stand Baby. My name is Sandra Moffatt, and in an effort to make sure that we bring you all the information and facts relating to newborn safety, joining me throughout this series is well-respected neonatal nurse Anne-Marie Feary, who will be advising us on the essentials to safely working with newborns in a studio environment. In this tutorial, we're going to talk about safety issues with newborn photography. But before we start, I'd like to say that if you are unsure about anything you hear during this series, please seek advice from a medical practitioner near you and get the answers that you need. If you have been given information from other sources, make sure it's a reliable source because the health and well-being of our clients should always be put first. In this tutorial, we're going to do a walkthrough of a back and a side pose. We will cover what to look out for as well as what to avoid. You're able to get a variety of angles as well as beautiful detailed shots from both of these poses with very little setup or movements of the baby, which means they're perfect if you are worried about possible health concerns. I also find these great to start your session with, as both of these poses are great for gauging how the baby responds to you, your movements of them and their temperament, and then you can adjust your session flow accordingly. These poses are perfect for photographers just starting out. Let's take a look. Now, to keep going with our transitional posing and trying to alleviate moving the baby too much, if you were going to go from the bum up pose, the next pose that I would transition into would be the side pose. It's very easy to achieve from this particular pose. So all I need to do is I need to bring the back arm around and under the baby, and then all I need to do is slightly roll the baby back. So I'm going to support the baby underneath the chest and full support of the head, and then I'm just going to bring that back arm around and under. From here, all I need to do is support the head, then sort of turn the baby onto its side, supporting its lower back as well. Again, with any side pose or any time when the baby's face is connected to the beanbag itself, we really just want to stick a hand under there so that it will lift the face up and you won't lose any of the baby's features. So I'm just going to do that, and I'm going to bring the other hand up and under as well. It's really important with the back and side pose that you cover all the baby's bits. We definitely want to give the baby some dignity. So if your baby is undressed and naked at this point, you want to bring the legs up and cover everything, which means that you may need some support around the knees. I am also going to add a rolled up towel in and around the back, just to ensure that the baby doesn't fall backward and is supported very well on the beanbag here.
Sandra, I think that's a really great point to make. I think if you put a roll behind the baby's back, you're giving them that sense of containment, and hopefully they will be a little bit more settled. The other thing about this pose too is that their hands are up near their face, and babies really like the fact that they can bring their hands to their face because it's a way that they can self-soothe.
Actually, I remember you saying that yesterday, that if we can keep the hands towards the face, that they will be more comfortable. Yeah. And I have found that in the studio previously. Okay. So now I have this support behind the baby, and that's really just going to support the back. There's actually quite a few ways you can do a side pose. So you can either bring the legs up like this, or you can bring them down and around in a more natural sort of pose. Like this one. It's very simple. We don't need a support person for it. They're not really going to go anywhere, and we have the support behind them.
Yeah. Their airway's not compromised. They look really comfortable. Yeah. I think that'd be a lovely photo.
So I'm just going to get a quick photo of that. Again, higher angles towards the face, not shooting up the nose. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a variation on this, which is also really popular, is Jamie, can you come in here for a second? Jamie is going to pretend to be my mother today, and we're just going to bring the hands around the back, support, notice her fingers are coming around to support the bottom and up towards the head. And then I'm going to take this photo as well, and ideally you would be on a darker background for this, because if I take it from the right angle, she's actually going to look like she's holding and supporting the baby. But it allows me to get this shot without having to completely reposition the baby. So it really works with my flow posing. Now another thing is obviously if you're going to be shooting from above the baby, you definitely want to make sure you've got a strap over your camera.
Why wouldn't you wear the strap all the time, Sandra?
Well, the reason that we don't wear the strap all the time is because if I was to have the strap here and then I go to adjust the baby, let's be honest, that's going to create quite an impact towards the baby. So what I want to do is when I'm positioning, I want to put the camera down and away. But if I am shooting from above, I definitely want to make sure that if something does happen, that the camera's not going to hit the baby. Thank you, Jamie. Okay, so now we've got our beautiful side pose. And from here, I'm going to move straight into the back pose. These are very simple poses, and I think they could work for most babies. So to move into the back pose, again, I'm going to try to do it with little impact or disruption to the baby. All I'm going to do is roll it from the side to the back. Again, a lot of the time we want the legs up to hide all of their bits. And sometimes what will happen a lot with babies is their legs are going to fall right back to the knees to hit the beanbag, and they're not going to be very well supported there. So all I do is grab a couple of face washers and I'm just going to prop them up under their knees, just to help them maintain the feet over there.
That looks so much more comfortable.
And so that's just really going to make sure that the legs don't fall back. You can do it where you expose their feet forward if they'll sit like that, or you can bring them around and cross them over. It's really up to the baby and what they'll put up with and the way they like to sit. This is a really simple pose, and you can add beanies and bonnets. Again, you could add a cute little teddy or something for them to hug or hold. Very minimal movements to the baby, and to achieve a lot of looks very quickly. So now I'm just going to grab a quick photo of this. Again, I'm going to be shooting from above, so I'm going to want to put the camera strap around my neck. Definitely don't want to shoot from this angle because you're going to be shooting up the baby's nose. So just slightly above. And that's it. That's the back and side pose. If you'd like to see more of our tutorials, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.